will recall here the division algorithm for polynomials, which is simply the process of long division. We discussed this process in details in lesson 7. The theorem says that if f and g are polynomials and the degree of g is not 0, that means that g of x is not a constant, then they are unique polynomials q of x and r of x such that f of x over g of x can be written as q of x plus r of x over g of x. Q of x is really the quotient when dividing f of x by g of x, and r of x is the remainder. After multiplying both sides of that equation by g of x, we obtain the relationship that f of x is equal g of x times q of x plus r of x. The degree of the remainder is always less than the degree of g of x. So let's recall briefly how we divide two polynomials f of x and g of x. So we have the polynomial 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x plus 1, and we want to divide this polynomial by x squared plus x minus 2, which will be our function g of x. So let's write the polynomial f of x, 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x plus 1, and we want to divide this by x squared plus x minus 2. So as discussed before, we'll divide the leading coefficient of the dividend by the leading coefficient of the divisor, and we'll get 3x. Now we multiply 3x by the divisor and write the answer below the dividend. So what we'll have is 3x cubed plus 3x squared and minus 6x. Now we subtract those two polynomials. Subtracting means changing sign to the opposite and adding corresponding like terms. So we'll get x squared plus 4x plus 1. And we'll repeat the process with x squared plus 4x plus 1 being a dividend. So we divide x squared by x squared of the divisor. That is going to be 1. And now we multiply 1 times the divisor and write underneath the dividend. So we'll have x squared plus x minus 2. And now we subtract. Again, subtracting means changing the signs to the opposite and adding the like terms. So what we'll get is 3x plus 3. The degree of the 3x plus 3 is less than the degree of the divisor, so we stop here. This is the remainder. And the number, the expression 3x plus 1, this is q of x. And therefore, we can write our function f of x, which is 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. This is f of x, can be written as q of x, which is 3x plus 1, times g of x, which is x squared plus x minus 2, and plus the remainder, which is 3x plus 3.